The question of the hour is why are people afraid of the truth and find comfort in loving and living the lie? You know, I wanted to come in here this evening, and I wanted to try to do something to stimulate thought. The majority of the people, and I do mean the majority of the people who diligently follow the ministry of Straightway, who listen to me and support me, are actually a very educated people, a people who have shown that they have the ability to be able to think outside the box. And not only that, they're pretty much a truthful people, because if people listening to me, the one thing they know about me is I'm very brutally honest about no matter what I speak about. I'm very passionate about in itself. My question of today is this: why are we so afraid of the truth? I mean, have you not noticed that people are literally afraid of the truth? I mean, I totally feel that the outcome of relations, I don't care what relations it is, it totally depends on how we handle the truth. My question is, do we conceal the truth or do we reveal the truth? Now, the one thing I do realize is that truth always heals, and it never kills. I mean, do we assimilate the truth? Do we continue to keep putting it out, the truth? Or do we just give up on the truth simply because we believe that it's falling on deaf ears? The one thing I learned is that truth never dissimulates, but it always integrates. But there must be a basis for that truth, though. A lot of people have a definition when it comes to freedom. And of course, their definition is that, you know, freedom, it has a spirit of tolerance and is nonviolent. But if that is the case, my question to you is, and let's get some video responses on this too. Let's get a good dialogue going here, because we do need to stimulate thought. We need a defibrillator on our mind. We really, truly do. Rather than continue to keep rehashing different points and sayings that other people bring up to our conscience and stuff, we need to exercise self-autonomy, okay? But if freedom truly is a movement of tolerance and nonviolence, now the question is this: then where does the fight come from? I mean, if we all believe in the same morals and values, then where does the fight come from? Well, I have to answer that. Well, it's simply because we all do not believe in the same morals and values. This country that we know of as America no longer embraces the same morals and values that it did 70 and 80 years ago. We're a total different nation, no doubt about it. And if you ask me my truthful opinion, I think that we're in a moral decline. I think we're spiritually bankrupt. And I think that if we continue on down this path right here, that civilization, there's no hope for it in the years to come down the road. And that's just the truth. But I always wonder, why does truth always constitute a threat? Let me give you an example. You know, it's no secret that I speak on political, social, religious, and economic fronts. I do. I speak on each one of those fronts, and I only speak about the things that I know of. I dare not to reach myself beyond measure, because the last thing I want to do is be able to, you know, put myself into a certain arena or sphere and not be intelligent enough to know how to defend or even answer any question that may come my way. But why does truth always constitute a threat towards people? I mean, let me give you an example. Let's talk about morality for a second. The structure of the family home: one man, one woman, they procreate, they make children. In this country, that's seriously declining. Now, either that's the truth or it's a lie. And if it's the truth, that means that anything that is fighting against that and opposing is that, it has to be evil, because to oppose the truth would inherently make you evil, would it not? The one thing about people who possess the spirit of truth is that they have a spirit of nonconformity. You see, conformity, that's what the world wants to do. It wants to mold us and shape us into its way. Now, a lot of people in the world, this is what I base truth on. I base truth on this book right here. It's called the Bible, the King James Version of the Bible. And pretty much all my understanding, everything I've ever learned in life, and how I have understood, and my actual viewpoint and outlook on life, it pretty much comes from this perspective right here. It comes from this perspective right here, from this book. Now, most people, they draw their perspectives from one of the other trillion books that are out there. Yet and still, I have not found a book that is more wise than the sayings in that Bible right there. But I tell you what, there's no way, when I know that there's a system out there, a system of corruption that is doing whatever they can to constantly keep the people divided. And the way that they divide people is by lies. Even to the point now that a lie has become the truth, and now the truth has become the lie, and the very thing that is the truth that we should be supporting and defending and upholding and living by, we're now all afraid of it and scared of it. And you know, when I bring up the Bible, let me give you an example on the biblical front. Okay, it's just this simple. We in this country right here, you know, I cannot, it's probably 360 million people in America. And here is the Bible right here. I'm going to use this as an example, okay? And yet and still, we just had well over 90% of the general populace in the United States of America turn around and spend whole entire days and money, resources, and time. You know what they just got finished doing? They just got finished celebrating a pagan heathen holiday that's not even spoken about, much less written of in this book right here. Do y'all understand that? You cannot even find the word Christian, or let's say Christmas, in this book. As a matter of fact, you cannot even find one instruction in this book for that holiday. Now, if you go outside the sources of this book, and you go to many of the writings of the heathens and the writings of the pagans, you can find unlimited amount of knowledge of where it comes from. So if we are a nation based on truth, then why do we live after lies? And why do we support so many lies? I mean, you don't think that there's something really truly honest? I mean, because think about it. I'm a man that I try my best on a daily basis to evaluate myself and to see if I am living a lie. Am I compromising? Am I standing for the truth? Am I a man of honor and integrity? Would people be afraid to follow me? I mean, would they be secure in their person, knowing that I have nothing in my heart whatsoever at all that has any intent to injure or hurt them? I mean, could they really truly trust me? I mean, after all, if I preach the truth, I stand the truth, you know just as well as I do. Look at the gauntlet that I literally have to run through in judgment. I mean, for instance, I'll give you one more example. Here in this country, everybody believes that their opinion is valid. And one person can speak their opinion about another person, and people that hears it will weigh in on what that person said and make a judgment, but they will not wait to hear the other person's side, or they will not be silent until the other person has spoken, in order for the listeners to be able to make a rational decision on who's telling the truth and who is misrepresenting and who's lying. I don't know why we are afraid of the truth so much. Economic front, 5,000 year history, gold and silver is money and nothing else. So how have we been duped and deceived into believing that Federal Reserve notes, which are backed up by nothing at all, how have we been tricked into believing that Federal Reserve notes is money, when the truth is it's currency? You see, every person has to search their own soul and really truly has to search their own heart, because I'm a pastor, and as a pastor, we deal with people, we will help people, and we give them ample amount of time when coming this way, to make certain changes, have certain benchmarks and stuff like that. And when we no longer see that taking place, it's hard, because it will create an uncomfortable environment. I mean, if you got, excuse me, if you have a people who are bent on obeying this book because we believe that book to be the truth, and then all of a sudden you have people that run up to a certain point and then they put their opinion in front of that book right there, there's going to be opposition. There's opposition even in life. The old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. The same way that goes about everything in our life. You can get on here and fill yourself up with knowledge all day long, but until you become a doer of that knowledge, because you see, is when you actually do, is when you have the understanding. Just because you have mental assent of something and you're familiar with what somebody says, that does not make you an expert. Neither does that make you a person of understanding, because the truth is, you really truly don't understand anything until you do it. When you do it, then you're able to articulate and communicate to others the importance of being a doer and not just having mental knowledge. And that's the reason why you'll see some people, you take an assessment in your life, you see them year after year, they improve, they get better, they grow in knowledge, they continue to keep enhancing themselves, their self-worth and value continues to keep going up, the stock is going up. And then you look at other people, looking at them today is like looking at the same person that you saw 5 years ago. They've made no strides, no improvement to their character or their nature. Nothing about them is actually pleasant or enjoyable whatsoever at all. And, when we get older, we should be getting wiser. We should be. What out there in the world, I'm considered a very unorthodox preacher. I don't flow after the system that we've all been trained by. I mean, I'll give you another example. The Bible is a Hebraic book, and the Greek influence of the Bible only spans some 99 years. But the Hebraic influence, it pretty much spans almost 5,000 years in a book. And most people don't understand this, and they refuse to grasp it and get it. But that Holy Bible that some of you believe in out there, it is not the history of Christians. It's not the history of the Greeks or the Romans. It's not the history of the Medes and Persians, the Americans, the Europeans, the Africans, Chinese, Japanese. No. If you just read it right for what it says, it's called reading comprehension, you'll know that that book is a history of the Hebrew Israelites, the chosen people of the creator of the universe. Now, you may get mad, you may dissent, you may not like that, but I just got finished stating for you the truth. And there's not a preacher on the face of planet Earth that can actually stand in front of me in a civil open debate in front of a crowd of people that can defend against what I just got finished saying. So now you know the reason why Pastor Dollar is not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I am exactly what that book says, because I believe that to be the truth. Now, you may go out there and read a book or embrace a book of the religion of tree hugging, and whatever's written in that book, it may be the truth to you. But my question to you is, Do you follow it if you really truly believe it? I mean, if you really truly believe your own philosophy and your perspectives, are you a doer of them? Do you follow them? Well, I do, and I hope that you do. But I guess I said all that to say this. Why are we afraid of the truth? I mean, there's nothing that penetrates the heart and the mind like coming to the knowledge of the truth of what that Bible says. You talking about a division and discords in families, in lives, jobs, nothing brings a sword like that Bible does. So that's telling me if the opposition is that great against someone who actually lives that book right there, that's telling me that there's something spiritual going on. There's something that is going on that doesn't even meet the eye. There's a great opposition because, man, I tell you what, man, the feelings and emotions that cause people to stir up at the mentioning of the truth when you're contrary to it is utterly remarkable and amazing. Why are we afraid of the truth? What do you think?